right, hello. Thank you so much for coming to my demo. I appreciate it. I came all the way from Palm Springs, California, which is now my home. After a life in Los Angeles, I now live in the beautiful desert, and this is one of my favorite cities, San Francisco. There's a few cities that when they call, I'll come, and San Francisco is one of them. Hawaii is another. So there's just, San Francisco always has a good energy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 3 delicious recipes. Sign up for my mailing list here, and I will send them to you rather than handing out paper copies. The first 2 are from my first book called Unprocessed, which I don't have any copies of. The second one is from my newer book, which I have 15 copies of. Is the lady that helped me with AV here on the last thing? Because I promised I'd save a book. No, she's not here. Okay. Oh, okay, good. So, because I figure if you went away, I would just give your book away. So, anyway, that's who I am. So, we're going to be using a really cool thing called a pressure cooker, an Instant Pot electric pressure cooker. Does anybody have one? They are the best. Seriously, if you're vegan, you got to have a pressure cooker. It's on its way. Thank you so much. So, really, I've been vegan for over 42 years now, and people say I can't be vegan. I don't have enough time, enough money. If you live in San Francisco, you're obviously like the wealthy of the wealthy. So don't give me that bullshit that you don't have enough money. If you live in San Francisco, even if you're a homeless person in a box in San Francisco, you have more money than the rest of us. But as far as time, you have nothing but time if you use an electric pressure cooker. You literally put everything in, you set it, forget it. You can walk your dog, you can take a bath. So it's really cool. So we're going to be making a rice pudding in there should we ever get the liquid that we need. That's the only thing the only way you could ever mess up your pressure cooker is to not put some liquid in. That, like some people forget. I don't know how you could forget, but I guess it happens. So we're waiting on the inserts. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make a salad for you right now. It's one of my very popular recipes. It's called quinoa salad with pistachios and currants. So this is 2 pounds of quinoa that's been cooked. About 22 cups, and I use the tricolor just because it's pretty, but you could use any color. And I actually cooked this in the pressure cooker it took about 2 minutes. So it's pretty cool. Quinoa is a pretty fast cooking grain as it is, but it's even faster in the pressure cooker. So I'm doubling this recipe, by the way, so that there's enough for everyone. Oh, and by the way, I chilled it because this is a cold salad. So we've got 2 pounds of dry quinoa, which we cooked, and then we chilled. And now we're going to add some currants. Now, you could add any dry fruit, but I really like currants, thank you, because they're a little bit sweeter than raisins, and they're smaller, so they disperse better. You get more bang for your buck. So we're going to add that. So in this pressure cooker, we're jumping around a little bit. All we have is some water, because I could have sworn I brought a box of plant milk. I just don't know where it is. So what I'm going to do just right now, this is one that it looks different. Where's the manual button? Oh, no. Pressure cook. There we go. Okay. I'm not doing anything now but trying to warm up this liquid, hoping that it'll be ready in time. So we'll come back to this. So I've got my quinoa. I've got my currants. If you don't like currants, you don't have to put any dried fruit in. You could put in raisins. You could put in goji berries. You could put in dried cherries, whatever, cranberries, whatever. This is a very versatile salad. It's so versatile, in fact, that if you didn't like quinoa, you could use another grain. I've done this with rice, and I've done this with millet. And so now we have... I've got a knife. So we're going to add some pistachios. I'm doing raw pistachios. I think if you're going to eat nuts, it's best to eat them raw and unsalted. And if you didn't like pistachios, or if you didn't want to use nuts, you just don't put them in. But if you are going to serve this, make sure that you add the nuts right before serving, like if you're coming to a potluck, because nobody likes soggy nuts, right, sir? Nobody. Especially us women. We hate those. We hate wet nuts, right? All right. I love San Francisco. I belong in this city. What the fuck am I doing in Palm Springs? They don't get me in Palm Springs. There's no... It's so expensive. It's so cheap where I live, guys. Oh, my God. The desert is... You can get... everybody can have a mansion there. Everybody can own a mansion. It is beautiful there. But energetically, I do belong in this city. I loved it since I was a little girl. 4 years old, my parents took me here. Always fell in love with it. Okay, pomegranate seeds. Oh, always smell them, because every now and then they get kind of fermented, like alcohol. So who's willing to taste these to make sure they're not there? All right, I'll take the hit for the team. These are good. But every now and then they're sour. They're not horrible, but they don't taste as good. But I always smell them first. Now, these things are great, so I really recommend if you like this salad, when they're in season, freeze them. Fine. Okay. They're really good, and they're good on soup, like butternut squash soup. Delicious. Now, here's my salad dressing. Organic lime juice. Oh, yeah, no good. Organic lime juice. That's the only dressing. I made this recipe up in 2003 when I was asked to teach a cooking class at Whole Foods in Pasadena. And they said, we want you to do Christmas recipes. And I'm saying, then why you ask the Jewish person? Because I have no idea what that means. I know latkes. So they said, oh, you know, red and green. Well, this kind of is red and green, right? You got the little red, that looks like little Christmas lights, the little green. And, you know, I bring this to potlucks all the time, and people say, what's the dressing? It's lime juice. Now, if you're going to do this fresh, zest the limes, even more flavor, because I don't use sugar, oil, salt. When you use sour taste buds sit right next to the taste buds for salty, so you sometimes can fool your taste buds. But this is how you make food flavorful without salt. Fresh herbs. I've got about a half a pound of fresh herbs here. I've got Italian parsley, which I prefer to the curly parsley. It's just got a better surface area and it tastes a little bit better. I've got green onions or scallions, and I've got fresh mint. And put that all in. What I did is I used a tool that you can get. I have an Amazon store, but anywhere you can get this tool for about $12, and it's called herb scissors. And it's 8 blades, and it's just really easy to cut herbs with herb scissors. So I'm using my food service gloves because I find that I can really get this to disperse better. I think you're really going to like this salad. It's as pretty as it is delicious. I can't really make it. My husband is one of the few people that's allergic to quinoa, and I didn't believe him, so I actually hid it in something. You know. So ladies, my husband, always make sure your husband has life insurance. He doesn't, seriously, you know. But, you know, that reminds me of, wow, what a pretty skirt. Hey, look at that. What a pretty lady, too. Yeah. Don't they look like they have a lot of sex, that couple? They just do. I mean, look at, you know, their... What? Oh, they're siblings? Seriously? Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a heckler. I've got a heckler. All right. So you're going to get to taste this on your plate. If you feel it needs a little more, you know, dressing, you can add a little more lime juice. You can use lemon juice, but you realize that lime is a lot sweeter than lemon unless it's Meyer lemon. I've actually done this with orange juice, so you can switch it up. And it's just, did you have your prostate examined yet? Come on.
Is it my lucky day?
Yeah, I'm going to use 2 fingers. I want a second opinion on you. Yeah, all right. So do you see how easy this is? This is so easy, guys. And you're going to get to eat this very, very soon. It's I would let somebody taste it right now, but I don't have a spoon. Thank you. All right. Recipe number 2.
All right. With these little cups?
Yep.
When do you want to bring those out?
I would say that should be last because it's the sweetest, but you could serve that right now if you like.
I'll do it. Yep.
And they want you to serve topless. That guy right there. Yeah. Am I right? Okay, so now I'm going to make my apple pie rice pudding. Because I flew here, I mean, you certainly can make rice in a pressure cooker. A pressure cooker actually can replace about 6 or 7 appliances because it is a pressure cooker. It's also a slow cooker, so you can replace your crock pot. You can use it as a pan to saute. You can actually saute in it. You can make yogurt in it. You can... There's 7 things it does. What are the other ones? Steam. You can actually sterilize things. You can... There's just a lot of shit. There's a lot of stuff it does. So I could certainly cook rice in it, but it was just I'm traveling. So what I did is I bought the organic brown rice from Trader Joe's, which is delicious, by the way. It takes 3 minutes to microwave, and I'm using that. And so normally what I do is I make rice all the time for myself, and then when there's leftovers, I just freeze it in... This recipe calls for 4 cups. This is 6 cups because I'm making 1.5 times. And then I freeze it, and then I know when I make apple pie rice pudding, I've got my rice measured out. But I love using like a basmati or a Texmati rice, but this is fine. This is just brown rice. It'll be fine. You could do millet too, by the way. So this has already come up to pressure instantly, interestingly enough. I was just trying to get the water hot. Now, this may not be as rich as it normally is because I don't know where that box is. I wonder if, do you think TSA took it? Do you think so? It's missing. It's so funny when I go through TSA. So this is hilarious. I don't know if you saw my last talk about calorie density and how much I eat, but this is like my purse with it's a cooler. It's got an ice chip in it, and so I'm going through TSA, and it always triggers it. It always triggers it. You know, it's probably the ice chip. And so the TSA agent looks in my bag, and it's got like pounds of sweet potatoes and vegetables and fruit. He goes, "Oh, you brought your food for the week?" I go, "No, it's for the day." You know, it's like, hello, you crazy guy, food for the week, you know? Okay. I'm trying to release the pressure. Let's see, venting. Ooh, it's okay. I'm a professional. I feel like I'm back in Palm Springs. This is what it's like every day. Oh, come on. 118 isn't hot. 122 was, though. All right, so I need to open this up. But seriously, you know, you can go to InstantPot.com, use my name, AJ, $10 off, or Milthy is another pressure cooker, $10 off. But just get a pressure cooker because your life will be so much better. So I've never done it with water, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. And now you're going to taste the salad. So I'm going to add my rice, which is already cooked, by the way, so it shouldn't take very long anyway. And I am going to add my raisins. I'm using yellow raisins because I think they taste even better. And I've got my cinnamon. I'm using a really good, what's the cinnamon I'm using from Local Spicery? Does anybody, I always get Saigon and, no, this is from Nick's place, Local Spicery. Does anybody know, what's the name of the cinnamon I like? You guys, come on, somebody must watch me on YouTube. What? Saigon, really good. Okay, so now I'm going to put my apples in, and I spared no expense for you guys. These are the Envy apple. The Envy apple is the envy of all apple because it's just better than any other apple, and I don't know why. I'm using this really cool tool you can get in my Amazon store from Bed Bath & Beyond because what it does is it makes little perfect slices. So I first use this tool, which, by the way, this is 8 segments. You can also get it in 16. But I'm telling you, has anybody tried an Envy apple yet? You'll never go back to another apple. There's just no reason to eat any other apple. And what's nice about this little chopper is whether you're chopping potatoes or zucchini or onions or sweet potatoes, every little thing, it's like perfect. Whoops, it's perfect. It comes into perfect cubes, and there's a measuring cup on the side. So if you need 2 cups of onions, you don't have to go dirty another cup. So I love this tool so much. Yeah. This is an Envy apple, E-N-V-Y. They have them for sure at Trader Joe's, sometimes at Whole Foods, often at Costco. We have you guys don't have Gelson's here, right? Oh, you have Gelson's? Okay, because, you get them at Gelson's. So you guys like that salad? Pretty good, huh? You could serve that to regular people and company. I mean, because it's not about being vegan. I mean, people eat food that, you don't have to put animal products in everything. Yeah, the citrus can really take the place of salt. But this is a very, you can make it any way you want, but it's a very good salad. Company loves it, potlucks, things like that. Church picnics, things like that. It's a very popular recipe. When you can't get pomegranate seeds, it's still good, but the pomegranate seeds really make it just even more special. You can always also often find them. So this is now full. This is about 3 cups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in, and then I'm going to show you how to program it. Trying to get my friend Ann to be comfortable using a pressure cooker. So many people are afraid of them. So we're going to put that in. And I'm going to, I don't really have a spoon, so let's just see. You don't have to stir it, but I'm just seeing how much liquid, if I need to add more apples. See, the thing is I'm thinking of keeping that for myself. And saying that this is it, because I might get hungry, So that's it. I'd rather screw you guys than myself. Okay, here we go. So, lots of buttons on this pressure cooker. No idea what they mean. So I just push this one that says pressure cook. Let me see. Okay, it's off. So now I press pressure cook, and then there's this little, like how many minutes I want, up and down sign. So I'm going to just say 5 minutes. And then hopefully it's going to get hot and come up to pressure very quickly while I'm doing your third and final recipe. So again, now the apple pie rice pudding is not going to be as sweet as your last recipe, which is a chocolate brownie, so understand that, and hopefully eat that the brownie second, but it will still be very, very good. And like I said, when you use plant milk, it's going to be a little bit richer. So let me just get my mess out of the way. And, okay.
So you would use almond milk?
Yeah, almond milk is one of my favorites because it's one of the lowest in fat. And sometimes I use the lower fat coconut milk by So Delicious because I like to look for a brand that has no oil, sugar, or salt, if at all possible. So I'm just putting my tools together so that I don't forget them at the Veg Fest, because that would be not good. Actually, my data stick is still in the other room. Okay, I think I got everything. All right, now we are going to make brownies. They're like brownies, but they're raw, so they're brownies. Brownies, like the paper towel. If you have any questions, just shout it out. Oh my God, where's, what? Oh my God, hold on. Oh, this is terrible. Oh, I can't find my ingredients. Would somebody run home to Belvedere? I left. I don't think so. You know what? It's in a bag. I know exactly where. Oh. Oh, we live too far. Well, the good news is yours are already made, and I know there's less than 75 people in this room, right? Probably? Okay, so we're going to pantomime this, and that poor girl, I made her bring her food processor, and now, okay, I'm really sorry. It's all measured out. All right, we're going to pantomime this, okay? I don't know what else to do. It's 3 ingredients. So, you know, hey, I just spoke at the OC Veg Fest, and a girl there who's taken a vow of silence could do a cooking demo without talking. I now do cooking demos without ingredients. That's how good I am. You see, I don't even need the ingredients. I am so good. The truth is, I have a YouTube that will show you this recipe. So, but I will talk it a little bit. And it's actually a very easy recipe because it is only 3 ingredients. A nut, in this case I used walnuts, dates, pitted dates, and cocoa powder. So I like these little things. You guys yours were made in a square shape. Mine, I have also a heart one, which is very, very cute. And what I like about the silicone baking ware is it's oven safe to 450 degrees, although we do not need to put these in the oven because this is a raw dessert. If you're doing oil free, it's not going to stick because if it does, hey, I like your style. He seems like he's cool, right? Doesn't he just seem like he's like somebody you want to be friends with? I feel like I would. There's no cool people like that in Palm Springs. Everybody in Palm Springs is old. Me too. Good, huh? Pretty good. Woo. Hey, this works. All right. So, how you make it? It's very easy. 2 cups nuts, 2 cups dates, half a cup of cocoa powder. Hey, I know you. I remember you from True North. Yeah, your hair's up. I didn't recognize you. Okay. And look, she's pretty. He's cool. Like, look at these cool things. Is your ex-husband? So he's available? Well. Now, wait. Come on. Tell me a little bit about what happened here. Because, I mean, you're obviously a very cool cat, and she's obviously very pretty. Now, what happened? No, I want to know. I mean, these 2 people are so beautiful. I hope there was offspring at some point, right? 1. I bet it's beautiful child, whatever. This is frankly, this is much more interesting to me than my demo. I want to know more. All right. So you take your 2 cups, and by the way, in these kind of recipes, in these raw desserts, nuts are interchangeable one for another. They just taste differently. I mean, you could ostensibly use any nut. If I'm going to use nut, I generally use the walnut because it's the healthiest, highest in omega-3 fatty acid. But you could use pecans. Why did you divorce such a fine-looking man? The divorce was a mistake? Well, then can you get back together now? Why? Wait. Oh. Too much water under the bridge. Oh, no. Now I'm sad. Oh, wow. All right. So back to the cooking. So we take you take the nuts, and you want to make sure that they're raw and that they're not salted. Roasted, I guess, would be okay, but the thing is anytime you're grinding in a food processor to make a raw recipe, it's got to be dry, because if you have just a little bit of water left over from something else you did, those nuts will turn into like a paste, and you won't get the texture you need, which is a flour. So basically, you could buy almond flour at Trader Joe's or Whole Foods and not grind it, but you need a very dry flour-like consistency, which if your food processor is at all wet, you'll ruin it. So you have the 2 cups, you put it in, not very long, and then you get like breadcrumbs. If you go too long, you get nut butter, which is okay, but not for this recipe. So you grind it, you got like the feel of breadcrumbs. Then you put in your 1/2 cup of cocoa powder, you zhuzh it again, and now it's all interspersed correctly. Then you take your dates. Now, I like to use the pitted. I live in the date capital of the world right now. I live actually in Indio, California. We have a date festival every year. And Daigle Nord is not considered the best date in the world for eating. But I think for recipes it is. And what I like about it is the medjool are great for eating, but they're really, really, really sticky. The Daigle Nord are, well, first of all, they're cheaper. You can buy them organic at Costco, like 3.5 pounds for less than $7. So they're very, very affordable when you're doing big cooking. But they just, for me, they have a better texture. The medjool are so sticky that sometimes it just gets caught on the blade and it just goes round and round. So now if I'm going to be making, if I was going to eat a date, I would probably eat a medjool. If you're making date paste, which is dates that are soaked in water and then pureed, you can use any date you want because it's going to be a smooth puree. So then it's about 2 cups, but one of the things that would have been nice to show you is something called the break point. So you've got your cocoa powder and your nuts pureed, and not, mix interspersed. By the way, you don't have to put cocoa powder in. You can do this without chocolate. You could do this with carob powder. Basically, what I'm teaching you is how to make a Larabar. You can make it any flavor you want. You can make it with any nut or dried fruit. You could do apricot, Brazil nut. It doesn't matter. You make whatever flavor dried fruit and whatever flavor nut or seed you want. But if you are adding anything like an extract or a zest, you want to do what's called the break point. So you put the dates in, and you're going to have to process it till it slows down quite a bit. And what happens is then you stick your hand in, you kind of smush it together to see if you can make a ball. After you've made the ball, you take the ball and break it in half. If that crumbles, that means it either needs more time in the food processor or it needs a few more dates. It's really, really easy to make, and I apologize that I don't have it. Now, one other thing I do, if you all know, because I told you that there's walnuts in this, if I'm going to a potluck, which I often do, I have a meetup group now in the Coachella Valley, is I will press a walnut into every square. Why? Because often at potlucks, even though I have a sign that says nuts, it ends up on the ground. I don't want that person with the nut allergy to see a brownie and not realize it's nuts. So when I'm doing it for people that don't know, I always stick even a little piece of nut in it so it's like, hey, there's nuts in here. So hopefully this is going to be ready soon. And whatever time I have left, I can tell jokes. I can show you my boobs again. Actually, the couple that came in late didn't see them. So they didn't see them. So, no. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Add more dates. So if it's crumbly still, either you need a little bit more dates or it didn't process long enough. But it really just doesn't take. I mean, Ann was with me this morning. It took us 30 minutes to make 75. That's not a lot of time for a recipe like that. So you don't have to get these pans, by the way. I just think they're cute. You can just press it into any pan and then cut it up yourself. Also, what you can do is the brownie you're eating can be a great crumble over like banana or any kind of ice cream. It can also be a pie crust. You press it into a Pyrex dish. A company comes at the last minute, slice up some strawberries. You got a pie, like instant pie. So very easy raw desserts. So I don't know what time it is, but we could either talk recipes, we could talk calories. Yeah. Yeah. But what about this guy? What about him? What about this poor gentleman?
That's okay, go ahead.
Yeah. He said, I don't know what time I have till, so anybody, I think I have till 2:55 or actually, that's it. Eat and run, yeah. You're just like every guy I've ever had sex with. Once you're satisfied, you just leave. What? I have 2:45, and what time is it? Oh, I got 10 minutes. Oh, there's a clock. Hello. What was your question?
Consistency be ruined if I use date syrup
Yeah.
instead of...
So it won't be ruined, but it's just going. Date syrup is so wet. It's see because the dates are sticky. They're the glue. I mean, it's going to be really wet. It's just going to be very, very. Sir. I know. So if I'm going to eat a date, medjool dates are delicious, and the halawari, there's ones that taste like caramel. If I'm going to eat them, I want one of the fancier, more expensive ones. But since I use dates in place of sugar, it's too expensive. I mean, because I can get organic Deglet Nor dates at Costco for $2 a pound.
What is the name of the date you're talking about?
Deglet, D-E-G-L-E-T, one word, Noor, like Queen Noor, N-O-O-R. These are a lot drier, and they're not, like for people that are date eaters, they're not the first date they would think to eat. But for these kind of recipes and for making date paste, and also they're a little bit less sweet, as a matter of fact, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
Do you soak your nuts and then dehydrate them, or just use them?
Let me ask you, do you soak your nuts? You know, you look a little like Bradley Cooper, a little. I mean, I don't have glasses. Yeah, so you can certainly do that. It's a lot of work, but I know that there are ostensibly some benefits from soaking the nuts and then dehydrating them. It's just, I have the equipment. It's a long process, but you can buy soaked and sprouted nuts, now at Whole Foods. They're just going to be more expensive. Dates I only soak if I'm making date paste, but when you make date paste, make sure you don't throw that soak water out because that's where the gold is. Second row and then third row.
I'd ask about that.
Yeah.
What if you want it a little bit less sweet?
If you want it, you mean the brownie that you ate today? Maybe use a different dried fruit, like prunes. Prunes are not as sweet as dates. Apricots are not as sweet as dates. Dates are really sweet. Dried apple, it'll taste a little bit different, but dates are probably the sweetest of all the dried fruits because I'm trying to replace sugar. So what you would do is, I don't want to say use less because then it won't combine, but use a dried, like I don't find prunes terribly sweet. What other dried fruit are they? Yeah, I would probably do that, or apricots. Apricots are not all that sweet. They're sweet, but they're not all that sweet. Yeah.
Are these recipes on your website?
Well, not really. So what I do is every week I put a recipe in my book on YouTube, and I've got 500 YouTubes now, so I've got a lot of recipes on YouTube, and put one out every Wednesday. So I don't have a blog, so I don't really have a place on my website to put them. But if you watch the YouTube, they're there. That's how kind of I roll. But they're in my books, and I've got 15 books if anybody wants to buy it after this talk. My website is... Oh, well, the website that shows you the videos is YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and just put in Chef AJ, that's my that's not my website. I don't own YouTube yet, but I'm hoping that one day they'll come to their senses and let me have YouTube. Yeah.
And I had asked about xylitol.
Okay, so I am not a fan of anything artificial. And so anything that ends in OL is a sugar alcohol. Xylitol, sorbitol, erythritol, mannitol. And okay, so first of all, it depends what your goals are. So anytime you have a artificial sweetener, even stevia. Stevia is not artificial if it's the leaf, but most people that use stevia aren't eating the green leaf. They're taking the green leaf and they're powdering it or making it into a liquid. So what happens, you create a very intense sweet taste that doesn't exist in nature. And so what happens is you have taste buds on the tip of your tongue for sweet. So when you eat something with stevia, xylitol, whatever, your brain gets like, oh, wow, something good's coming, calories. But guess what? No calories come. So you end up overeating. So if you're trying to recover from food addiction or sugar addiction or lose weight, the artificial sweeteners and stevia are actually worse for you than the other ones. Also, there are all the GI doctors I've interviewed, including the plant-based ones, say they are just a nightmare for your microbiome, for your gut. All the sugar alcohols are horrible for your gut and your colon. And stevia, they've done, it's now shown studies I hate animal experiments, but in rats it's been shown to cause prostate cancer. You don't have a prostate, you're probably okay. Yeah, did you have a question? No, you just went like this, okay. Yeah.
The cocoa, what did you use in it?
Oh, okay, so actually what I used half and half. Because I like to use the more expensive ones, like the raw cacao powders that you get at places like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, and Costco. But I also like it to look really dark. And Hershey's, believe it or not, has an extra dark, special dark cocoa powder. It's just cocoa powder, and it's really good, and it's really affordable. So I usually kind of like a good drug dealer, I kind of cut it a little bit because I was trying to lower the cost for the Veg Fest, but that is a very good product. The Hershey Special Dark is very good, and it's very affordable. Yeah. Any more questions? Yes.
Where did you get that half pound of fresh herbs? Or did you make
Yeah, no, so what I did is I bought a huge thing of Italian parsley, and the recipe calls for 2 ounces. So I doubled the recipe, so it was actually 12 ounces. It was actually more than that. So I just bought a thing of organic Italian parsley and did most of it, not so much the stems. I did 1 whole thing of scallions. Ooh, look, it's ready. And I did 4 ounces of fresh mint. Yeah, the herbs really make it. So guys, this is ready now, thankfully. So the way you release the pressure is you just push this away like that. Excuse me, sir, would you mind putting your face here? Okay, I guess he would. And this will be interesting because I've never done it with water, and if it works, this could be your morning oatmeal. There's nothing, all this is rice, fruit, and that's all it is. It's rice and fruit and cinnamon. So this actually might be a good thing because some people do avoid plant milks for whatever reason. And this will definitely save on calories for people that are worried about that. So how long it takes to release the pressure depends on how... Does this mic even work? Hello? I don't even think it's on. Oh, it's a mic for the... Oh, no, I'm being recorded. Shit. I wouldn't have sworn. Sorry, didn't know. You missed my boobs before she turned it on. They actually saw me change into my chef coat. All right. So how long it takes to release the pressure depends on how much it's full. Let me see if I can tell you. How many vegans does it take to change a light bulb? 2, 1 to change it and 1 to angrily read the list of ingredients on the light bulb part. Yeah, you know that. True, isn't it? Yeah. What's that old joke? How do you know if somebody's vegan? Don't worry, they'll tell you. Yeah. No, but seriously, like I had a pair of earrings on that said vegan, but then I bought these and so I changed. But I almost always have like something little, like a little pin or something, because I've been vegan for like 42 years. But I always work it into a conversation. Like wherever I go, whatever people like I'll be at the store and this is true, and somebody will say, oh, I really like your shoes, and I'll go, thank you. Because I'm vegan. Like I always find a way to say, I'm glad you like them because it's important to me to have stylish shoes, especially because I'm vegan, blah, 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 or whatever they say. So if anybody says, somebody will say like, you're a real bitch. I go, it's because I'm vegan. So whatever they say to me, that's always the answer. Well, it's because but they'll say you have really nice teeth. Well, because I'm vegan. Or whatever they say, I always say it's because I'm vegan. So... You can see it's almost coming to an end. And they're very safe because you will not be able to open this until the pressure is released. It's just the way it is. And maybe you can smell this. It smells very, very good. And what's nice about rice pudding is it can be enjoyed hot. It can be enjoyed cold. And then this is going to be very watery right now. We're eating it right away. But as soon as it cools a little bit, it thickens and it becomes really like a pudding. I've actually one time made so much of this, I've dehydrated it and made little rice pudding crackers out of this. So you know what I do is, don't try this at home, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just trying to open the lid. This is the 6 quart. The 6 quart is very nice, but I would recommend if you don't already have one to get an 8 quart. You can just do a lot more in it.
So maybe you have to switch it off because now it's increasing fast.
Yeah, so what it's showing now is how many minutes. I can switch it off just by, it's off. But it's still going to take a while to come down to pressure. Pressure is 239 degrees Fahrenheit as opposed to boiling, which is 212. So this is very, very liquidy, and it could be because it's not going to be bad, though. Also, when you measured it, did you measure it in a measuring cup or use the lines of the Instant Pot?
I use measuring cup.
Yeah, good, because it's not, this is fine, by the way. We could serve this right now, and, it may not taste as sweet as it could because you just had a chocolate brownie, but it'll still be very good. Don't you want to know? Hi, we'd love to hear more about your marriage and what went wrong. I mean, did you end up ever getting another man? I mean, you're obviously quite attractive. Did you ever hook up with anybody else?
Yeah, many.
Many? Whoa. This is ready to serve. Yeah, so we're going to have that. Yeah, she's pretty, isn't she? I used to be pretty. No, all right, so we're going to have any other questions? I can tell a joke if I can think of one. What? I'll tell a joke. Oh, okay, I want to tell you something funny. So I actually had the honor of my life. Last week after the Veg Fest in Orange County, I had Dr. John McDougall over for dinner. And I have been asking him for 10 years. And he never said yes until this time. And so what I did is, I used to be a comedian a long time ago. You can find me on YouTube, on Johnny Carson, things like that. So after it got the evening, it was like a 6-hour evening, I just kept telling him every dirty joke that I knew. And he has a very good sense of humor. So here's one of my favorite. This is visual, so you kind of have to watch. Okay. So this guy goes into the emergency room like this, saying, help. I was at Dodger Stadium, or I should say, help, I was at Candlestick Park, and I got hit by a fastball. Oh, the pain, help, please. So the nurse runs over to him, unzips his pants, and starts fondling his penis, rubbing it up and down, and says, sir, how does that feel? And he goes, it feels great, but my thumb is still broken. So, cute, huh? So it's from a DVD called Old Jews Telling Jokes. It's one of the best DVDs. Now, do you want to hear the real dirty one? You better not put. You cannot put this on YouTube because it's going to ruin everything. Is this still running? So this is the next joke I told Dr. John. This is really. Is there anybody here that's like religious? I don't want to offend you. See those couple that came in late? They're just talking. What are they? Find out what they're talking about. I want to know what they're talking about. You're right in front of them. All right. So here. Well, this is called filling while we're waiting for the rice pudding. All right. So Dr. McDougall liked this joke because he's a doctor and everybody knows the state of our country with health insurance and whatever. So this lady goes to UCLA Medical Center because her husband had died of, a kidney disease. So she wanted to donate a lot of money to the urological wing and have it named after her late husband. So the doctor's taking her around and, showing her. And she's looking into some of the treatment rooms and she sees a nurse masturbating a patient. And she's like, oh my God, this is disgusting. I am not giving you 1 cent. The doctor says, ma'am, you have to understand, this man has a very serious urological condition, and if he doesn't ejaculate, the consequences to his health are dire. She goes, okay, fine. So he walks down another room, and then she actually sees a nurse giving another patient a blowjob. And she goes, well, I'm sorry, this is just... He goes, no, you don't understand. This man has the same condition, but he happens to have better health insurance. And I noticed you're not laughing. Oh, good. I don't want to offend my... Pretty good. That was a good one. You're missing the rice pudding. So I hope they don't put... Yeah, I hope they don't put this on YouTube. What?
Okay, so a little grasshopper hops into a bar, and the bartender says, hey, did you know we have a drink named after you? And the grasshopper says, really? You have a drink named Steve?
Very good. All right. So in case, hopefully they'll edit, here's a very clean joke that you can actually tell.
You know those two?
Yeah, I know one, literally one. Actually, I do. So these two carrots were driving down your expressway here. They were in a terrible car accident, father and son carrot. They were brought to the UCSF emergency room. Well, the father carrot, he died right on impact. So the emergency room doctor said to the son carrot, he says, listen, I got some good news and bad news. The good news is you're going to make it. You'll live. The bad news is you'll be a vegetable the rest of your life. Leaving before the rice pudding. That's okay. Don't make eye contact. It's all right. Just like all the guys I've had sex with. I get it. All right. So we're waiting for the rice pudding. Yep. And this is actually, I do know one clean joke. And sorry, did I offend you? You look very offended. Okay. This joke you could actually tell to people. I was actually eating at a Chinese restaurant when my mom's friend told me this joke, and I thought it was so funny I almost choked. So 2nd grade class, first day of school, they go around the class, and the teacher wants the kids to introduce themselves, say your name, what your father does for a living. So Billy goes first. Hey, teacher, I'm Billy. My father's a fireman. Oh, that's great. Susie goes next. Hey, teacher, my name's Susie. My father's a physician. Oh, that's great. Little Tommy goes, hey, teacher, my name's Tommy. My father's dead. Teacher goes, I am so sorry to hear that, Tommy. What did he do before he died? All right, but please have a Oh, we'll do them on the way out. So what I'm going to do is if you want to buy my book or whatever, I'll be out there at the table. And thank you guys so much. You've been a great audience. You've been a great audience. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. All right. Let's go outside.
I'm always like, why are Jews so curvy? And by the way, I'm Jewish.
Oh, why are Jews so curvy?